All right, as with all of the problems, I would strongly encourage you to rewrite them, reorganize it in standard form, and get your leading coefficient to be a positive before you start applying any of the factoring rules. It just makes it more consistent with all the things that we've talked through. So the numerator is not written in standard form, and if I did write it in standard form, my leading coefficient would be negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out a negative, and I'm also going to write it in standard form with that negative factored out. So factoring out a negative is going to change the sign of every term. So this becomes a positive x cubed, a negative 2x squared, a positive x, and a negative 2, okay, all over my x minus 2. Okay, so what I can now do is go through the steps of factoring. I have four terms, so I'm going to factor by grouping. My negative stays out front, but in this first group I can take out a common factor of x squared, leaving an x minus 2. From the second group there's no common factor, so I'm just going to take out the sign. When I take out the sign, I am going to write a 1 there. It's the one case where you write the coefficient of 1. I'm left with x minus 2. So now in this group, I have a common binomial factor of x minus 2. My remaining factors of x squared and a plus 1 carry along as the terms of my other factor, and this is all over x minus 2. So I just, again, continued my original denominator. And so I can cancel. I get my final answer to be negative quantity x squared plus 1 all over nothing, so I can just leave it in this form. And I did cancel a factor from the denominator, so I can account for that domain restriction. X can't be 2. And so that would be my simplified form. Now, if you distributed your negative through here, you're going to be fine. It should accept negative x squared minus 1 also. But there's no reason to. Just leave it as factors when you're writing your answer.